G'day Bomber fans, it's been a slow news week, but we do have something to talk about today because the Herald Sun is reporting that Zach Merrett, has gone and gotten himself a few extra dollars with the club, which is honestly deserved. No intro today, actually, let's just talk about it right now. So Jay Clark from the Herald Sun is reporting that the club over the summer penned a new deal over for Merrett. No extra years on his contract, but extra money and incentives. So Merrett was believed to be on around $900,000 a year last season, making him our second most expensive player for 2024, and there was of course talk that St Kilda was offering him a Godfather deal, or not even talk, Merrett pretty much confirmed this. It was big news for a few days, there was some trade speculation, a few of us were worried that Merrett would jump ship because of the big bucks. He did say it was a life-changing amount of money, but he obviously turned it down pretty fast. He didn't want to move over there. I guess though, with that, the club then had to think from there and thought, if St Kilda offer that money, what will other clubs offer? Clubs that are actually destination clubs, no offense St Kilda. What if Collingwood or Carlton came snooping with offering big bucks? So I guess to keep Merrett a little bit happier at the club and reward him for exceptional form, Essendon have given him more of a reason to stay by giving him more money. So I think the way this article is phrased, Merrett, who was on about $900,000 a year last season, is now on over $1 million a year, which a few years ago would have been huge, but that is just the way it is right now. There are plenty of millionaires in the competition. It's not a lucrative club anymore, the Millionaire Club. Last year there were 19 millionaires in the comp. That's almost a team or a matchday side. And next year there's going to be even more with the CBAs and players just getting more and more money. Merrett was also not our highest paid player last year, as I said. Ben Mackay was, but that will likely change in 2025 because of Merrett's front-ended deal. Mackay's front-ended deal. He was earning absolute bank in 2024. No one was earning more, but he earns less and less with each new season, which is what people fail to understand when talking about him and that deal. He is not our highest paid player throughout his contract, not even close, I believe. Merrett now has that title, earning what is believed to be over $1 million a year, as I said, on a contract that runs out in 2027, in 2 seasons after this one. So he's got 3 years on that $1 million, with that $1 million tag. He won't be close to the highest paid in the comp, but he is now around the top 15 or 20 or so, which is honestly where he belongs. I think he's a top 20 or 30 player in the league and a captain, obviously, and I think it's fair he gets paid like one. I wouldn't be surprised if some fans have an issue with this. There are always some who care about weird things, but I think it just makes sense for the club. We give Merrett the amount he deserves. We bump him up after another really good season, best and fairest, all-Australian squad, full season as well, but also it leaves him with less reason to actually leave the club if another team was to come. It's not like teams can offer heaps and heaps more now because we've acted quickly to bump his contract up. It's just a part of business of footy. Also, for those worrying about us being able to afford a Merrett pay rise of what I believe to be around $100,000 or close to it, and also bring in other players, we Essendon actually have one of the biggest salary caps in the league right now. In 2024, we were believed to be in the top 5 or 6 for salary cap space for the future, and that is partly due to our front-ended deals helping us in the long term. Mackay earns heaps, as I said, in 2024, so we can afford more down the track. Awesome business, I think. But we also got to keep in mind that we lost some genuinely high earners at the club too last year. We lost Dyson Heppel to retirement. Jake Stringer left. They would have both been on decent money last year. Jake Kelly and Nick Hind weren't there for nothing as well, so we definitely could have afforded this bump up for our captain. We probably could have afforded it last year, but even more so in 2025 with all the free cap space we now have, and that's pretty exciting. The fact that we've been bringing in expensive players and giving away new deals and still managing to keep our salary cap really healthy. It would be scary to kind of go backwards like we have and be without wiggle room, but at least you can kind of see room for us to improve over trade periods. We can trade in players, utilise free agency, we can afford a big fish or two, we can afford to pay players a bit extra and keep them, and that's good. It's a good spot to be in for our list. Sure, we might not be a great team this year, but even if we were to finish, let's say, top 12, there are a few big ways for us to go out and improve. We have the money to do so, and this little pay rise for Merrett is proof of that. Now, another question has to be, who is going to be next? Who are we going to sign up next to the club? And I will talk about specifically the out-of-contract players soon. I've got a video already recorded that I should release either on the weekend if training is dull or early next week. So I'm not going to go into detail for the out-of-contract guys, but I do think Harry Jones and Nick Bryan, who are out of contract, could be getting early-ish deals into the year. There's obviously Sam Draper, who we need to sort out. He's a restricted free agent this year, and depending on his form, he could earn a chunky contract. But I also think the club will act on contracted players who deserve security and money. For example, Nate Caddy, he is out of contract next year. I think it's likely the club will act before he's out of contract to avoid any unwanted stress and bump him up for a bit of cash. Carl Langford is a free agent the year after, and you got Nick Martin who's out of contract then too. I really wouldn't be surprised to see some players given early upgrades, but only ones that deserve it this time. I didn't like the Peter Wright extension and the Jordan Ridley extension. Less of that, I think. More of what we see with Merrett. He doesn't get an extra year. He gets a little bonus as a reward for good form. That now shows players that they can be rewarded if they play well, even if they're contracted. Even if they've got 3 years to run on their contract, they can still be rewarded. The club won't completely butcher them and keep them on a contract that they don't deserve. If they play well enough to earn a new deal, there is a chance they get one, and that's a better form of list management than just simply giving away big deals and hoping it's worth it in the end. That was very Dodoro, that way of doing things. Under Rosa, it's already looking slightly different, which I like. But yeah, that is that. Really quick video today, just kind of updating you with some recent news. I'm going to have much more to talk about in the next few days. Cheers for watching. Leave your thoughts down below. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and go Bombers.